Welcome to the Texas Department of Transportation's virtual public meeting for the Interstate 69E Improvement Project. This is a pre-recorded presentation. My name is Octavio Saenz, representing TxDOT, and I would like to welcome you and thank you for your participation in this virtual public meeting. This presentation is available for viewing starting on May 26, 2021. During this virtual meeting, you may pause the presentation and navigate forward or backward using your video player. This project is receiving federal funds, and because of the federal component, TxDOT is required to assess the potential environmental effects of the proposed project in accordance with federal standards. The process that is followed is called the National Environmental Policy Act process, otherwise known as NEPA. The NEPA process provides analysis of the potential impacts to the natural and man-made environment and helps the decision maker to make an informed decision on whether to proceed with the project. On December 9, 2019, TxDOT received a signed Memorandum of Understanding from the Federal Highway Administration that permits TxDOT to assume responsibility from the Federal Highway Administration for reviewing and approving certain assigned NEPA projects. The review and approval process applies to this project. Given the unique circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic, along with the department's commitment to protecting the public, the Texas Department of Transportation FAR District is conducting this virtual public meeting to limit in-person contact and large gatherings. At this time, this online format is being conducted as well as an in-person public meeting event. The in-person option may be requested and is available by appointment only and with enhanced safety measures. This presentation will cover the same information that the FAR District will present at the in-person public meeting event. The common process for the virtual public meeting will be described next and repeated near the end of this presentation. The meeting materials, project information, and in-person option appointment instructions can also be found at www.TxDOT.gov by searching I-69E Interstate Improvements on the website. In this presentation, I will describe the proposed project, review the existing typical section and safety analysis, show purpose and need, detail the proposed typical section, describe the schematic, improvements, and right-of-way, provide an overview of the environmental studies that have been performed so far, explain the next steps in the project development process, and outline the methods for submitting comments. The project area extends from Spur 54 to Spur 413 for approximately 12 miles on a portion of I-69E located in Cameron and Willacy counties. The existing right-of-way is 300 feet. The proposed improvements would require additional right-of-way of just over 1 acre. No residential nor commercial displacements are anticipated. Currently, the I-69E project area extends from Spur 54 to Spur 413. The average right-of-way within the project area is 300 feet. The current roadway consists of a divided 4-lane highway with 4-foot inside shoulders and 2 12-foot lanes and a 10-foot outside shoulder in both directions. There is also a 34-foot depressed grass median with a cable barrier. There are currently frontage roads with 2 12-foot lanes running north and southbound with approximately 10-foot outside shoulders in either direction. The main lanes and the frontage roads vary in their separating width from 45 feet to 65 feet going southbound and 35 to 65 feet going northbound. The distance from the right-of-way line to the edge of the frontage road varies from 10 to 23 feet. Now let's talk about daily traffic volumes and level of service, or LOS, along I-69E. What it is projected in the year the project opens up in 2025 and what is projected for the future. LOS ranges from figure A, which is free-flowing traffic as shown in light green to the left, to a LOS figure F, which is heavily congested as shown in orange on the right of the screen. In terms of delays experienced by the traveling public, a level of service A through D is considered acceptable, and a level of service E or F is considered unacceptable. For the opening year, the basic freeway segment, ramp junction, and weaving segment runs indicate that operations perform at an LOS of A or B for most of the study corridor. For the 2045 proposed no-build scenario, the basic freeway segment would perform at an LOS of B for most of the study corridor. However, for the ramp junctions, the operations would perform at an LOS of B or C for most of the corridor. Alternatively, the southern portion of the project would experience an LOS of E or F. For the 2045 proposed build, the basic freeway segments perform at a level of service of A or B for most of the study corridor. For the ramp junctions, the operations perform at an LOS of B for most of the corridor. Alternatively, the southern portion would experience an LOS of C or D. One of the goals for this project is to reduce crashes along the corridor. The project team analyzed crash data for the project corridor from 2015 to 2020. Locations of crashes were placed on a map, and circles were placed and color-coded where multiple crashes occurred in the same general location. These are called hotspots. The red spots show the highest concentration of crashes, which center around more of the start of the project area, the access ramps, and the end of the project area on I-69E. The yellow and green colors along I-69E show a lower concentration. Between 2015 and 2020, even though the number of crashes decreased by 44% with 548 total crashes, the multiple hotspots show a need for an improved roadway. The project is needed to improve mobility and improve safety. The purpose of the project is to reconstruct the I-69E main lanes to interstate standards, increase the design speed, and reconfigure ramps for operational improvements. The proposed typical section would redesign the I-69E roadway configuration to interstate standards, consisting of a divided 6-lane highway with 10-foot outside shoulders, as well as a continuous concrete traffic barrier in the median to separate opposing traffic. For the outside feeder lanes, the addition of a third lane would complete the 38-foot wide southbound and northbound frontage roads, with approximate 10-foot shoulders on each of the outside lanes. In the proposed section, the frontage roads and the main lanes will be separated by 25 to 65 feet. The distance from the right-of-way line to the edge of the frontage road will be approximately 28 feet. For the proposed typical section, the project animation team created a 5-minute video out of the schematic and project area design. Here is a short snip of that video showing a 1-mile section of I-69E from SH-107 to Sid Jones Road. This map shows an overview snapshot of the intersections along I-69 East, where additional traffic signals will be added. The signals will be built at the northbound and southbound frontage road intersections at Loop 499. Loop 499 will be realigned to improve traffic flows across the Business 77 and Union Pacific Railroad crossings. A one-way northbound frontage road also will be constructed closer to the main lanes. The existing two-way frontage road will be converted into a 3-lane access roadway with a through lane in each direction and a turning lane in the middle. The southbound frontage road will be realigned to tie directly into Starbuck Road. Turnarounds will be provided on both the south and north sides of the Loop 499 Business 77 intersection with I-69E. The engineering team has developed schematics to show proposed improvements that meet the project needs while minimizing the additional right-of-way needed and impacts to private property. There is a high-level overview of schematics and have included a large PDF on the project website. The engineering team has broken the project layout into several pages for Phase 1 and Phase 2 to show more detail about the interstate improvements. If you would like to take a closer look at the specific area of the project, you can download the schematic and zoom in on your locations of interest using the link on the next slide. You can see the link in the middle of this slide that will take you directly to the maps on the project website. To view these schematics, click on the PDF of this presentation in the Presentation and Script link below this video on the project page. The proposed project improvements for Interstate 69E would bring the existing roadway to highway conditions by reconstructing the existing roadway to a 6-lane road with a concrete barrier, redesigning and reconfiguring of several access ramps. Construct new frontage roads, redesigning of the intersection at Loop 499 with Business 77 and Starbuck Road with Business 77, and increasing the speed limit from 55 miles per hour to 75 miles per hour. In addition to these improvements, the project team would translocate any trees moved from the project area based on the tree mitigation plan. Now, let's discuss the environmental studies completed for the I-69E project. The project team identified and evaluated potential environmental impacts that could occur as a result of constructing the improvements. Technical reports for each of these studies are available for public review. As part of the project's NEPA compliance, TxDOT considered biological resources, community impacts, water resources, hazardous materials, archaeological and historical resources in park and recreational areas. The project was designed to avoid or minimize impacts to the greatest amount practicable. Overall, impacts to environmental resources as a result of the proposed project would be minimal. Much of the environmental findings include more detailed information on right-of-way, displacements, and floodplain within the project area. For instance, the project will require a little more than 1 acre of new right-of-way, but no residential nor commercial displacements are anticipated. Additionally, there are no anticipated adverse community impacts, nor impacts to threatened and endangered species. The team also found that only 2% of the area is within the 500-year floodplain and mitigation is not anticipated. The proposed project would require an additional right-of-way at Starbuck Road of approximately 1.06 acres. This project would not displace any above-ground structures, but would include the displacement and relocation of underground utilities. Significant traffic delays are not anticipated, and adjacent property access is expected to remain open. Now, let's go through the project schedule, next steps, and cost. The Interstate 69 East project began in the winter of 2016. This included site visits and surveying and then moved into development of the alternative analysis through 2017. During this time, the project team held meetings with local agencies regarding these proposed designs. The next stage in the process is environmental documentation, which began in 2018 and continued through 2021. Currently, we are in the public meeting stage where the project team gathers input from the public on the proposed design. The steps going forward involve schematic design, which has been ongoing since 2018 to 2021, and environmental and categorical exclusion determination in 2021. As we said earlier in the presentation, Phase 1 construction is estimated to begin in 2022, and Phase 2 will be constructed later in the process. The total cost of construction for this project is approximately $278.1 million. TxDOT is committed to continuing our efforts to gain public feedback about this project. We understand that this virtual public meeting format is a bit different, so let's take a few minutes and explain the comment process. Given our COVID-19 situation, the FAR District is asking the public to provide input through verbal and written comments. You may submit comments by going to the project webpage at www.txdot.gov and using the keyword search I-69E Interstate Improvements, where you can download the comment form. You may email the comment form to the project manager at jose.j.lopez@txdot.gov or email him your comments directly. Finally, you can download, fill out, and mail the comment form to TxDOT FAR District, 600 West Interstate 2, FAR, Texas 78577. If you do not have internet access, one way you can share your input is to provide verbal comments by phone. The verbal comment option is available starting at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, May 26, and will be available until 11:59 p.m. on Friday, June 11th. Please call 956-702-6195 and leave a voicemail with your comment during that time. Your comments will be recorded and a response will be included in the virtual public meeting summary report. Please limit your verbal comments to 3 minutes. And of course, if you wish to view the project area information and materials at the I-69E in-person meeting, you may do so by calling the project manager at 956-702-6195 to contact the project team anytime during the development of the project, as well as to schedule an appointment to reserve a time slot. The location of the in-person meeting is at the TxDOT San Benito District Office, located at 1350 East Business Highway 77, San Benito, Texas 78586 on Thursday, May 27 between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Thank you for watching, and please do not forget to submit your written and verbal comments by Friday, June 11. TxDOT appreciates your participation in this virtual public meeting for the I-69E Improvement Project. And please, stay safe. This concludes our presentation, and this virtual meeting is adjourned.